Welcome, everyone, and I'm really excited to announce the first lecture of our lecture series. And you all remember, and the freshmen would be new to this, that our lecture series is called Inside the Box because we spend at least 90% of our time inside the box. This semester, we're talking about performing inside the box. And how many people in the audience, how many of you have designed anything to do with performance? So I don't see any hands going up. And I know one of our students last year did a thesis project on performance. And if we're not doing performance spaces in our studios, this is my attempt to teach you about different performance spaces around the city so you leave the school with some education about these kinds of spaces, because they're not like a restaurant or a hotel. You've got a raked floor, an angled floor, you've got a stage. It's very different. So can you imagine going into a firm and someone telling you that you're going to design a theater space? You're going to design a space for dance or for music, and they're all quite different. So you're going to learn that this semester. I want to thank the Joyce Theater. This is a photo of the Art Deco front of the Joyce Theater, which was built in 1941, but not as a dance theater. It was built as a movie hall. And so Hugh Hardy, an architect, redesigned this. They gutted the whole place, and now it's a really important dance performance theater. Dance is really important, or movement is very important, and this is just to bring home a point. Interior Design Magazine in February, the front cover was about an amazing project in China by Prone Architecture on a dance hall. And so this is just to, again, show you that this is really front and center and something that you could be involved with in your future. We have two incredibly special people with us today. We have Christy Spessard, who's a dancer and an educator, and she has her own company, an experimental dance company as well, and she's nationally renowned, so we're really happy to have her here. And there's a couple of news articles that say her choreography is a triumph. It's amazing, so we're really lucky to have you. And Ilya Azarov actually taught at SVA in our department, and we'd love to drag him back if we could. He taught, among other things, a design build class, and so we're really excited to have him. Ilya is an architect, but is also a dancer, and so he has his own company, Plus Lab, which is an experimental company. He's really well known worldwide for resilient planning, and he flies all over the place talking about resiliency and saving a lot of people's lives, really. And there's a great movie that we'll watch at school that Ilya put together and is front and center in. So I'm going to hand over the stage to you two. Thank you for doing this for us.
Thank you, Carol, and it's great to see all of you here at the Joyce Theater. How many of you have had any dance background or experience? Raise your hands. Couple? Great. So you're going to be joining us on stage later. You know that, right? See, now no one's going to raise their hand. Yes, I remember teaching at SVA. So how many of you have had singing experience or any performance experience of any kind? Singing experience, performing experience? Of any kind? Yes, excellent. So there's a few of you. So you've had experiences in these spaces, and what I'm going to talk about today is a little bit about the commonality of space, light, and the human body. You're in a design discipline. The design discipline, it is not just about the surface and the quality of the material, all those things, but if you distill it down, the things that you use for every part of your design process is about space, it's about light, and the human body. The color of the fabric is nothing without the quality and reflective nature of the light. That sumptuous space that you're putting together considers those three elements consistently. So what I'm going to give you today is a little brief about why that is so important for all the arts, but specifically to these two art forms that I dearly love. So here we have a dancer moving into a very well-known architectural space, the Barcelona Pavilion, but we're also on a stage space that is quite wonderful. We're seeing that you have this beautiful marley and canted material, and this is a set that I did some years back that is just about spacelight in the human body and the temporary nature of that transitory space. But the idea is the experience of the person going through your spaces and how we on the stage express what the audience sees as those bodies move through space. What is that communication, that experience that I am assuming from that moment, right? And these landscapes that we create, or that you can create in the aspect of design, the nature of design, take into account all of these wonderful things. The simplicity of color to the light, to the space, to the person, and then maybe just a series of doors, right? So this minimum nature of how we address and put together an environment, right? So think about that as a designer, as someone who's studying design. And we look at the most ancient tenets of Western architecture happen to be the Vitruvian Man, right? But it's interesting that the kinesphere, which is the study of codification of space, which Christy's going to go into, about how the body moves in space, have such similarities that, again, it's about the human being. The human being, its reach space, its ability to use space, its ability to express itself, but it's partnering with space. Space is an active something that you need to engage in your design work.
Can I interject?
You can interject.
Okay.
You can come onto stage space and
Thank
start
you.
interjecting, please.
I just wanted to define kinesphere because it's kind of a strange name, and you're going to get a lot of different words that have to do with your bodies relating to space. And kinesphere is a word that means where your body can reach in space, every direction that your body can go. So just wanted to tell you that. So I can be in really usually every day I'm kind of in my close kinesphere when I'm talking to people. You know, I tend to gesture close. When I'm going out for a walk and getting somewhere, I tend to be in my middle kinesphere. You know, I've got to get to class, just like you all were coming here. You're sitting, you're very close, but as soon as you get out of your seats, you're kind of reaching into the environment in a middle space. And then if you're really at a sports event or somebody's birthday party trying to hug someone across the room, that is your far kinesphere space.
That's great. So now you're starting to understand the layers of space, your ability to move within it, but it's a partnership with that environment, that medium that you have to design. And it goes a little further than that. Oscar Niemeyer, another sort of historic figure in architecture and theoretical design about performance environments, really takes the human body to define the performance space. So if I move to the middle of this performance space, this is a very powerful place to be in. And if we take a look at some of the radiating lines that come from that human being, you can ascribe heroic nature. You can describe all of these things that are imbued in the body based on your relationship to the space around you. And then, of course, the radiating lines that come naturally from your body as you move and perform and dance. And so how you engage that in design is quite fascinating. And then, of course, we have Les Modulaires from Corbusier, and we've seen buildings and these amazing things that the body itself is the measure to make furniture, to make doorways, to make passageways. And the power of that inside of what you do is if you recognize that modular, I now have control over what people see and feel based on how I play with that relationship of space and body. And the stage is that place where all of those things come together and you can experiment extraordinarily well with a stage. It's a blank canvas that can change at a moment's notice. It can be something very simple with musicians and other senses taken on. So you strive in interior design to get at all of the senses. And performance is that ephemeral art that gets at it very quickly, so the stage space can change. And it's this idea of fast versus slow. You're in an art that is one of the slowest arts, architecture, design. It changes very slowly over time. Dance is so immediate. It is the leading edge of where design is going. It changes constantly and reformats itself constantly. So if you think about fast versus slow, but we have the commonality of space, light, and the human body, we're in really great shape. But here's some other things you should know. So if you really take a look at what architecture and design education, you start to look at the different words and the systems and all of these things. But when you distill it down, the Architecture Foundations and Higher Learning Survey, it's the same words that are used in dance education, such as rhythm, meter, contrast, juxtaposition, arrangement, layers, symmetry, scale, hierarchy, all of those things. It's the same thing that dancers and performers use in their education. So how dissimilar are we? We're not. It's just that this form of artwork has to take place in the form of artwork that you produce up here, right? And so I will come back to this later in the program, but any space can be transformed by you. And this is one that we'll come back to called the Changing Room, an old space in Lower Manhattan that, with a little bit of time and thought, has changed at a rapid pace for impromptu performances. Received lots of grants and a lot of great things. But we're going to come back and talk about that and what it means for you as designers. But before I bring Christy completely onto the stage, we're going to talk a little bit about culture. So as an architect, architecture at its best is a reflection of culture. It captures the essence of who we are and what we want to embody. And it also, the dreams and aspirations of who we are today. So that's at its best. You can look at a piece of architecture, even if it's built 100 years ago, and say, what was society thinking at that time? Those best pieces of architecture, they transcend time and they keep going because they embodied a moment. But if you go a little further and you say, well, what about dance? So dance, it's a reflection of culture of our time as well, but it captures the comments and amplifies the essence of who we are, revealing our flaws. It also embodies our dreams and aspirations of the now as well. But that now is redefined. A dance that you see today, the choreographer will change that for tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. We do not have the ability as designers to change on that moment's notice, but we do have the ability to create spaces that have the human body changing at the moment's notice. And that's quite beautiful. So with that, I'm going to pass that over to Christy. The stage is yours.
Okay. All right. So it is 1 p.m. You've had your lunches. Your biorhythms are starting to kind of lower. So I'm going to wake you up just a little bit because this is about body, space, performance. And I'm going to need your bodies a little bit more awake. So we're going to do one simple thing. Oh my God, no, don't make me do anything. This is very easy, don't worry. Have you all ever been to like an event, like a sporting event where you do the wave? We're just going to do that simple and have you experience this. But this is what it's going to do. You're just going to stand up and sit down. It's going to start with you, lucky one. It's going to go to the end here. Then you've got to be ready. You're going to see her stand up, and then you've got to go follow, 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 follow all the way down the second row. Then when he stands up, then you've got to be ready. Now, remember, you've got to know who's in front of you, and then all the way down the third row till this young man here, when he stands up, you've got to be ready, and so on, okay? So we go down the fourth row. When you stand up, you've got to be ready there. All the way down, and then you follow him and all the way to the end. Yes. Okay, are you ready? The instruction is to stand up, and you don't have to go that fast. Take a moment to take a breath while you're standing there and let this flow. Are you ready? Are you ready? Begin. A little faster. Up. Next person, next person. Yeah. Don't let that person sit down before you. Yes, keep it going, keep it going. Yeah. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Yes, that's it, that's okay. Yeah, there we go. I love this. All right, you're getting it now. Woo! Yeah, keep it going. Oh, yeah. Little Jack in the Box quality. Yes. Woo! Good for yourselves. A hand. All right. Yeah. By the end, that was really dynamic. I was feeling it. And I want you all to just pay attention. Hopefully that woke you up a little bit. I want you all just to look over here. What do you see? This nice gentleman here. But what is this? This is, do you know what's up here? Somebody yell out what you think that is up there. A walkway, and what else could be up there? Exactly. Seating. It's kind of hidden, but that's seating at this theater. Where you all are, look behind you. Just turn around and look. You see the video camera. What do you see way in the back? You see somebody up there, kind of with lights around them? The light box? Great, great. What else do you see back there? You see a box? I love that. We're going to talk a lot about boxes. That is your control center for everything that happens here. So when at the end of a performance, the performers always take their bow. If the choreographer or the director is with them, often they will, point to them to acknowledge that. And then always the performers acknowledge the box in the back with all the people, the backstage people that run the performance. Now, same thing over here. You've got this, we're working with symmetry here, right? So we have right and left just the same. This is pretty much for proscenium stage theater. That's what we're in. And then this is where all the good stuff happens. This is what I love. Oh. Okay. He likes you. I like this because I'm always up here. This, if you saw me as you were coming in, I was moving around. I was getting ready. Dancers love to take the space before we perform, before you even get here, and feel it out. Like go from side to side. Feel out the space. Look into the audience and practice where you're going to be looking. Who am I looking at? Where am I going to put my gaze to emphasize certain parts of what I'm performing? This is all super important. If it wouldn't take so long, in my mind, Ilya and I spoke about getting you all up here at the beginning because you have these cards in your hands. And we're going to just have you take 2 minutes right now to do a little writing. And what I want you to write is about everything you see here. Now, you can write words like stage and lights and chairs, or you can be like bright flooring or musical instruments, or you can say exciting, or name some words that we like.
Sleepy.
Sleepy, velvet, projections. So right now, just free associate with what you see here for about a minute, 2 minutes at the most. Write down some words.
Aspects or qualities of the space. As interior designers, your descriptive vocabulary is always at play. It's not about object, it's about what the object does to the space. So what is that? Give us a couple words.
No word is wrong. It's just your perceptions in the moment. The first thing you see. Now, if you were standing here with Ilya and I, you'd see more. But I want you to really take in as much as you can right now, just for another 30 seconds. we have the highest tech possible, but I am going to write some words that you tell me right now on this paper, because guess what? This is going to be really important as we go along. You, with your words right now, are making a dance. You are the artistic directors. You are going to feed the most important information, and I am going to help develop a dance. Okay? So Ilya, I want you to point out.
Sure.
We're going to ask you now.
Is everybody finished?
Everyone kind of finished? Now, I don't want you to be shy, because there's no wrong word, but we do need your input. So look at your list right now, and then just tell us, just shout out a word, okay?
All right. How about here in this row? Word. Say it louder. Layers.
Layers.
Great.
Great.
Next to you. Dark. Dark layers. We already have a dance. That's great.
Great.
Fantastic. How about the next row? How about you? Yes. Say it again. Recess.
Recessed. I
Excellent.
love it.
The Simpsons. Brick. Excellent. Love it. How about you? Yes. Curtain. Excellent. How about on this side of the room? Seed. Big space. Excellent. Next row back. How about bandana? Hit me. What's your yeah, go ahead. Give me a word. Table?
Cable.
Oh, cable. I like that. Great. Let's see, down the row a little bit. Yes. Yes. Dim. Great. And you in front, because you really want to give me a word as well. Lights. And behind in the back row. Yes. Velvet. Wow. We actually have a music score, a dance performance. Oh my gosh, these are great.
Okay, give me about 5 more.
5 more. Okay, so who wants to volunteer a
Carol
word?
has
Oh,
one.
Carol wants to volunteer a word. Ladder. Okay, great. Jack in the back. You want to play? Backdrop.
Oh.
That's great. Yes, and then yes. Wait, first the lady in the back. Yes. You. Track, and then you. Speakers. Okay, need 2 more. That other. Oh, you already gave me one, right? Excellent. Give me another one. Calm.
Oh, I love that.
And you had your hand up.
Oh.
Shadow. Fantastic. Okay, great.
Wow, that was really getting good there. I was
Wow.
getting like
and I
you
actually
all.
had volunteers. Even Jack, you gave us a word. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay, so this list is going to come back later, okay? So for now, we'll just put it to the side. All right, so back to our presentation. I just wanted to say, Carol brought up a little bit about the Joyce, but first of all, as a dancer, I think some of you heard this. As a contemporary dancer, which I am, my background started in ballet, but I was a professional contemporary experimental dancer in New York for many years. And when you got to the Joyce, you made it. So today is my first day performing at the Joyce. Woo! But I did have one really exciting experience, which every year there's awards, dance awards, called the Bessies. And it's named for Bessie Schoenberg. And in 2001, I was in a dance company, Amy Sue Rosen and Derek Bernstein, who won a Bessie. And as a dancer, I won a Bessie. So that was my first experience here. But today, I'm so happy to move with you, because some of you wonderful souls are going to get out here later on and move with me. And I promise you'll be ready by the end.
In fact, all of you that gave words, you will be up here. You self-selected.
know.
I appreciate that.
I just wanted to say one thing about the Joyce, which was very interesting. It was in 1941. It was a movie theater, and it was actually, before it became the Joyce, many years before, it was a pornographic movie theater, which I just found out today, which was really interesting because dancers, and originally, at first they were only males performed, but when dancers started really taking over the dance halls, they were they were kind of known as illustrious figures. So that was kind of interesting. This is where you are. This is the Joyce Theater. Can you find where you're at? Where's the stage?
Stage is at the top.
Just think about it. So you're kind of,
Where it says orchestra, right?
you're about right where it says orchestra.
Yeah. Some of the best seats in the house.
Okay, so this is a little fuzzy, but this is the New York City Ballet, which doesn't usually perform here. But one thing I loved about this in Swan Lake is just to see a line of how beautiful this takes over the whole space. Performance. What is performance? Performance involves these three main things. The performance space, so we've talked a little bit about that. You're experiencing it in your bodies as the audience and here writing about it. And it's the relationship between the performers and the audience. So there's this concept that's very interesting in performing. And I'm actually a shy person, but when I get on the stage, I can do just about anything because there's this concept of the fourth wall. Has anyone heard about that? The fourth wall. It's really clear here in the proscenium stage. You're there, I'm here. It's a psychological barrier, but it's also a physical barrier here. Later on, when you see some of the works Ilya and I have done and other choreographers, you'll see that this is only one type of performance experience. Artistic collaboration. We are collaborating. Ilya's done a lot of sets for companies I've worked with over the years, and he's also created a lot of sets for me. So it's a great dialogue, and also there's a lot of collaboration between the performers and the directors and the performers and the choreographers and the performers themselves to make a performance. And then the theatrical elements, I've got my costume on. Do you have your costume on?
I have my architecture costume on. You guys know that I am the architect.
Yes, and he wore just for you a blue
Exactly. This
arm
is
piece. But also collaborating with the technicians and the musicians, composers, the lighting designers, the costume designers. It's a big experience. What does a performer want in a performance space? Now, Ilya and I are going to both talk about it, but the first one that I love is a clean marley surface, a flooring. Do you see this white surface? This is marley. It's a type of flooring that dancers love. You don't slip on it. It's great on bare feet, which I've always kind of danced mostly in bare feet. But even if you have, point shoes, tap shoes, no, not so great. But it's a great surface for dance. Stage manager and technical designers, super important for everything to run on time, to know when you're on stage, off, to make the lights and the sound happen. Good musical acoustics. Now, some stages that you're going to look at are probably later on. They're made for music. This theater was not created for music, but in the redesign of it, I'm sure they thought about that, but it's not like the David Koch Theater at Lincoln Center for music. Safe backstage passage. So what you don't see here, well, you can kind of see that big black thing up there? Somebody said what it's called.
backdrop.
Backdrop. It will come down, and then you've got a nice little alleyway back there. If you have to enter on this side, and then in a minute after you go off, you have to come around that side, you really want a safe back space. Good dressing rooms. This is not always, sometimes. A lot of the places I've been in, there are no dressing rooms, and you just have to kind of wing it. Comfortable audience seating. What do you think? Pretty good?
You guys really comfortable?
No? just
Well, if
okay?
you're not comfortable, you can come up on stage, and it's a little comfortable up here. Come on up. Anybody who said no, come on up.
Yeah, come on. Sit on the side of that.
Sit right here.
The box office, when you entered the space, did you all notice where the box office was? Anybody? It was kind of, when you walk in, it's just to your right. Really a nice place to get your tickets. All right, so what I just wanted to point out is some amazing other proscenium spaces. There is the Bard College. If you ever go up the Hudson to Bard College, this is a Frank Gehry building, really beautiful. Now, has anyone been to Radio City Music Hall? Yes.
A couple people.
Great. This is an Art Deco building. So is that. It's really, but it's on a whole different audience volume level. And then King's Theater in Brooklyn, which is just, you would never know how incredibly beautiful it is. These are all really incredible proscenium stages like this in New York, and I hope you get to go explore them. Now, we talked about the proscenium. Proscenium means there's like an archway here, right? And it's really from classical, it's really a Greek creation of a stage space. But these are the other main types. The arena stage where people are on all four sides, a thrust stage that comes out, and if you imagine, audience on both sides here and the front, and then flexible, you can move it around. These are some really, if you love theaters, these are some of the most beautiful ones in the world. We have the National Center for Performing Arts in Beijing, which is a masterpiece. Sydney Opera House, some of you all probably have seen that. The National No Theater in Tokyo. The Minnick Theater in United Kingdom, and that's water on it's on a cliff, incredible. And then here's one in Brazil, Teatro Amazonas. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. And then the Thespis is the most ancient theater in the world, and it's arguably where the classic theater began. And it started, theater performance actually started with people who were in the cult of Dionysus. Does anyone know who Dionysus was? It's like,
The god of wine. Yes.
Yes. The party god. Yeah. So that's kind of, they all would end up, after drinking and reveling, they'd end up and they'd have a final performance. The performers danced as much as they acted. Often they had masks, because putting on masks at the beginning when theater began, it allowed you to kind of do things that you normally wouldn't do when your face was showing. And they kind of did these performances about gods and men, the dichotomy. And usually it ended in a tragedy. So this is where Ilya and I are going to kind of come in together. I want to just give you a little story. Ilya is an architect, I'm a dancer, but we met at the La Bonne Institute of Movement Studies in New York City. And Ilya was coming to take a class in dance, and I was teaching there. So I was happy to meet this man, and we've had a collaboration ever since then, many years ago.
That's true. And so my background, while I was studying architecture and design, I was very interested in what I presented to you at the beginning of this, is that the human body is at the center of all of the design efforts. And I wanted to get more involved with it, so I started to take dance classes. And so I was dancing in performance companies while I was going through architecture school, and I continued that into my professional career. And so when I decided to go back for thesis work, for a master's degree, the Le Bon work is the scientific codification of space and how the body moves through it. So if you begin to understand and unlock the principles of how the body moves and behaves in space and uses space and partners with space, you suddenly have the ability to have much greater control over space. And as a designer, you should be very interested in that, because that's what makes a successful design. Go ahead.
one thing that's very cool is I'm going to do a little demonstration here. And inside the box, that's where we are today. We're inside the box of the theater. The presentation is inside of the box. And Rudolf Laban talked, he actually was at the turn of the century, he was Austrian, but he did all these theoretical concepts and made all these what we call scales that you move in space, and when you move certain places in space, he believed that naturally your body will take on different qualities. And so they're called affinities. So, Ilya, do you want to describe just quickly this?
Oh, sure. So as you can see from all the Laban work, it's not just me as an architect looking at it, it's a lot of folks looking at it. So you see one of Frank Gehry's buildings down here. The way that the body moves in space and its fluid motion to the proportion of the body is so recognizable as a construct that many architects and designers embrace it and use that for a driver for performance space, or a building that performs in the space of the city, or an interior space that wraps the body in a way, as you come into it, completely differently than any other space you've been in. So that's why we put these together.
Okay. And this is, once again, a picture of the box. And if you imagine, if I had, there's something called trace forms. If I were in the dark and I had one of those light sticks, guess what would you see when I moved? What do you think you would see? Yes, whoever said that. Thank you. Lines in space. And you'd see them moving around. It would be kind of cool. And that's what's happening here. Now, I'm going to do a little demonstration right now. And this is based on Rudolf Laban's diagonal scale. So what I'm going to just tell you quickly is these words: floating, pressing, gliding, flicking, dabbing. What he believed is if I move to a certain place in a box, so Ilya, can you draw a box around me?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay, so imagine that I'm standing in a box. Okay.
There you go. There's your box.
Okay,
All
so
ready
I
to go.
have the box here. Those are the edges, and here's the edges, and then here's the sides, right? So I'm going to show you what this means. He made a scale, and he said every time you move to the high right diagonal, you're going to move light. That just is what happens. Hello. Every time you cross the body and go behind you, when you're in the middle of the box, it's strong. Every time that you go cross the body over there, it's gliding. Woo. And if you come away from that, you're going to slash. I'm really putting a little emphasis just to wake some people up. And then there's a flick that's like, yeah. Have you ever seen anybody do that? That's flicking. When you're going light back, and then if you're going across, it's pressing. Narrowing, using your center to press. And then to the last would be a little dab or a ring. So if you can start the music, I'm going to just show you first this scale, and then I'm going to do a little gesture, kind of my attitude scale, and then I'm going to do a little dance with it. And at that point, if anybody would like to yell out any of these words here, floating, gliding, dabbing, thrusting, you're going to be part of my musical score. So I may not hear anything from you, but I would love it because it makes me happy and it makes my performance even better. Okay. Thank you. center stage. Okay.
So, Christy, do you want those who identify themselves to come up and do that same thing you just did? Or would you rather provide this kind of a space to support that kind of a movement so your experience as the audience can take that in and see it the best way you can? The height of the seats, the distance of the stage, your view and lines of sight to the dancer, to the proportion, the depth of the stage, the height of the proscenium, all of that is put together as a design element for your experience to be heightened, strained into whatever capacity is necessary. So that was a great performance, just based on a scale, the diagonal
Did anyone
scale.
see some of these? Can anyone say something they saw? A quality? Yes. Light. Great. Anything else? Yes. Dabbing. Nice. I wonder which time I was dabbing. Oh, that's my dab. What else? Anyone else see any of these words? What? Gliding. Thank you.
This one down
Anything else?
front, you added something to say.
Slashing, yes. God, that felt good. You were going to say something? Pressing. So really, when I'm doing these, just the fact that I was going that direction really supports it. So if you don't know yet, I'm a believer in the box. Who knows what this is? Anyone? Oh, somebody just yell it out. Yin yang. Okay, so the other thing that's really beautiful about the yin yang is in the Laban theory. He always believes that you do one light, and what are you going to have to do next? What's the opposite? What's the opposite of the light? Strong! And that wasn't very strong, by the way. Ugh. Right. So a lot of what he does is this opposite theory. He believes that when you go really light, if you're always light, you're going to have to recuperate and just go, damn it! Feels so good. So light, if you can kind of see that, looks kind of like the whole classical ballet started in lightness. People went up on their point shoe. It was developed to look light and elegant. What does that look like? A glide. What about that? Vitruvian Man, strong but out through the air. And then this is kind of like just that punch down that strength. So what I wanted to show you is I'm going to show you a little video of myself performing along with some other artists. And I wanted to show you this for many reasons. The director, Chase Anger, used to work for the Joyce Theater, and I collaborated with her to create a part of this. But she took a box theater and changed it over 4 weeks. And do you see what that substance is? Can anyone guess what that is?
Sand, they're saying sand.
Good guess. It's rice. So we're going to just take a look at this, because what I loved about this is how sometimes when you're dancing, it's not just about the space and the air and the light, it's about the substrate around you and how you have to work through it. Thanks.
So, Christy, before you go on, you could see space, light, in the human body, and you see the different environments and emotive qualities that you took on in that same space with those very simple materials. If you think about bringing that into your own work, that attitude, you gain a great deal. And I think there's a few more pieces we have left before you dancers will be joining us.
Which is all of you. Okay, so just going on, we've talked a lot about proscenium spaces, and what you just saw was really a close-up of a stage space. But this is back to Ilya's piece called The Changing Room, excuse me. And this is when I was dancing, and basically the audience was peering through windows and that close to my stage space. So a performance can take space in anywhere. This is something called a movement choir that I created on Western Michigan University students, where they took over in a collective way an art space. And see where the audience was? Up in a little window. So also you can play with thinking about where can an audience really see art. There's so many ways to kind of figure out where do you want to take control and let your audience see the performance. This was a piece I just did recently, and the space, it was with Mabu Mines. It was a theater piece, and the space was this tiny V shape. And it literally, we did a dance on that took over the whole space. So sometimes, once again, you're very confined. This is Washington Square Park. I'm sure you all know that area. And it was another movement choir where they took over the entire park. And suddenly, the audience was just the bystanders who happened to come by.
So territories. So in design, you often think about, I'm taking design class, I'm going to be an interior designer, I'm going to go and work for this person or this person or this company, and we're going to be doing office spaces and we're going to be doing people's apartments and all these things. But have you ever thought about the different trajectories or territories where your design skill actually can be applied? Well, one is what you're seeing here today. So everywhere, the 98%, because typically you design for the top 2%. So the 98% of the other design part of the industry is what we're talking about today. And you could do this design work anywhere in the world. Just as many of you have come to the United States for education, you can do this design work anywhere. Or my small office of 5 people exports our work all around the world. So location and place and idea is sort of your ticket to get everything moving. So I'm going to go through a couple of things that aren't exactly dance, but they take this idea of dance and set design and interiors, and they create things. So this one is Within Without. It was for Common Ground to raise money for homeless families in New York City. So this was working with visual artists, lighting designers, sound designers, and what we decided to do is create this incredible construct with caustic paintings that you would travel through. And in one night, we raised $90,000 for homeless families. So taking your art and your ability to give someone an experience can benefit those out there. This is another one that we did for the Museum of Modern Art with Piotr Duklansky. And so this is a live disco floor that was embedded in one of the pools. So how do you give an experience that is oral sensation, tactile, and changes at a moment's notice? Well, that is your job as an interior designer, as an architect, or as someone who really understands this. But your collaborative process is those with the body, light, sound, all of those things. And how it's put together, that is your technical expertise, right? People come to you to say, how do I do this? So this is back to the changing room. 5 environments in 5 weeks. And we recycled each environment to the next environment. And as you can see that each one, week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5 are all distinctly different. And this is through a grant from Lower Manhattan Cultural Council, given a space to do all of this work to bring an audience and enliven a neighborhood that was affected by 9/11, right? And then this brings us back to the larger scale. So as an architect, we designed some of these spaces. So this is a performing arts center in Kristiansand, Norway. It was a competition years back we did with Javier Barba out of Barcelona. And we won this competition from the public voting. Unfortunately, we weren't awarded the contract, but the scale with which you do your work, the smallest scale to the material to the largest scale, and in performance, working with choreographers and dancers and all of the people that Christy mentioned, infuses our work with the knowledge of how we can make performance. But now think of your work at the scale of, if I am making something such as a building, how that performs in the city itself as a stage. We saw something similar to that idea when you looked at the Sydney Opera House. It is very iconic. It also gives this moment when you see it from afar, there's a building that's moving all on its own. It's performing. So here's one that has light and shadow and all of the things that are imbued in it. So just to think about your work at scale, small scale to large scale, it never escapes the human body and light and space. And that brings us to the last piece, which is their performance.
Yes. So I told you a little bit about my work with large audiences, groups of people in spaces that are not usually performance spaces. And I'm going to show you a little bit of this. And
well, should they come up here and do it? Or you want them to do it after this?
I want them to do it right after this because I think
sure?
they. What do you think?
I think they all got to get up here and get a stage experience.
Okay.
What do you think? You're the choreographer. I'm just your collaborator. So
Okay.
I leave it to you.
I'm going to leave it to my collaborator. So we're going to
Great.
bring you all up here because
Well, great. Stand up.
I
on,
need
stand up.
So see, I'm going to because we only have one stair. Whoa, I'm going to be a little bit controlling about where your body goes in space.
Great.
So let's split you in half. Let's have this half right down the center. Please come up on stage. And just make sure that you're careful coming up, and then you're just going to stand right over here.
Christy, you want the words?
Yes.
Great. Come on up. Don't be shy. And if you've never been on a stage space, start to look at it and take it in. This is what we mean by the fourth wall.
Now, when you get up here are the words that you kind of came up with. Just take a little walk around. Be careful with any cables or lighting equipment. But just take a walk around. Look at the back wall. Look at this musical. This is set up for a performance right now. A theater group from Canada called Rubber Band is here now performing. Okay, you guys, you can come on in and start. Oh, actually, yeah. Just be careful right here when you go by. Be real.
Come on up.
So just take a look around. The Rubber Band from Canada, a contemporary dance group, has their musical instruments. Their musicians are set up here. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry, I'm not controlling enough here. Please come through
Come on
this
around.
way. Yeah.
Great. So if you can let me say something. Okay. So as you have come up here, if you take a look out where the audience is, those of you that have performed before, you understand that you're almost in a safe space up here. You're elevated. People can't get at you. You can be expressive, and they won't get at you. This is a safe space. That's this idea of the fourth wall. So as all of you come up, take a look out at the audience of where you are sitting, and the spatial organization of the box you're in extends beyond your point of view. Beyond the point of view are your side aisles, all the technical spaces, side lights, and all of the entryways and exit ways for not just you as a performer, but all of the technicians. There's an area where you bring in the sets, where you take them down, quick changes, all of those pieces. So it's a highly technical box
And look
that you
up.
can only see when you're here. There are things that fly in and fly out. But from the audience perspective, it's clean. It is a proscenium theater. You see just what the designer wants you to see. And all of those hiding behind the screen, come on out here.
Yeah,
the
come on
audience
over
cannot
here.
see you. Yes, 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 yes. Come on out.
This is excellent. I love seeing you. Now you're performing. Woo!
I think I'm going to sit down in the audience. I want to see how
Yeah.
you guys do.
Okay, first of all, let's just let your arms hang for a moment and shake them out. I know, just shake out your arms. I'm not asking you to do anything really.
All of you behind
Come
the
on
screen,
over
I
here.
still
Come on.
can't see you.
Come on
out.
over here, everybody,
Come on.
so that you're
Come
not
to this
behind
side.
the screen.
Come on out. And
So-
downstage, this way. Come this way.
Well, not too far downstage
Well, a
because
little
we're
bit.
going to do just a little exercise that's very important for any designers. It's called stage directions, all right? There's terms for stage directions, and these are super easy. It's always from your perspective as the performer. That's why you needed to be here. So you're looking out to the audience. Downstage is there. So let's all carefully together walk down stage,
Come on down, guys.
but not off the stage. Yes,
Yeah.
downstage.
Yeah. You
Here
don't
we
want to fall
are,
down.
to the edge.
Great.
Now, those of you who are really close to the edge, just feel this is the area of energy, right? Like you don't want to be in the audience laps, but there is the audience. There you are. Just see how it feels, this part of the stage. Now, opposite of downstage is upstage. So I want everybody to turn around and walk upstage. Go. So now we're walking into the area that has a psychological feeling of, mystery, withdrawal. And a lot happens here. When I was telling you, if you look up here, this is the screen that usually comes down in most performance, and you don't see this beautiful wall with all the lights normally. Now, stage right, guess what? If you're looking out to the theater, stage right is where you think. So let's all just shimmy to the right. I'm going to ask you to do a step together. Okay, are we ready? Start with your right foot. We're just going to go. Step together, step together, step together, step together, step together, step together. There we go. Yeah. And now you've got to experience stage left. Let's step together to the left and step together, step together. There we go. Yeah, that's not very hard, right? Now, Doris Humphrey, who was a modern pioneer in dance, said the most dramatic way to move on the stage is a diagonal. And guess, when I did this scale for you, it was called the diagonal scale. So point to the diagonal, to one diagonal. Let's see there. Look at that. Now everybody face your body to the diagonal. Now look out to the audience really dramatically. And now, let's walk to the diagonal with that same drama. Go. Just walk the diagonal. Yeah. Make it your own. Yeah. And it's from the right, stage right to the left that's most powerful. Okay? Now, back to our words. We're going to make a quick little ditty, and Ilya's going to hold these up, and we're going to find four words that we love a lot. All right?
What are the 4 words you like here?
Layers. Who votes for layers? Okay,
That's
one
great.
layer.
It got 1 vote, so 100%.
Okay,
That's
we'll
great.
pass that one.
Fail to participate, you will be given words.
He's coming up here. Awesome.
That's great.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, what's your name? Fawad. Okay, thank you. We're going to need you. All right. I love that. Now we're going to go to layers. Let's go to velvet. Who said velvet?
Come on, who said velvet?
Come on,
there
velvet.
You go. Come on down,
Come
velvet.
on.
Layers,
Awesome.
velvet.
Thank you, velvet.
Yep.
I'm just going to call you layers and velvet
There
for
you go.
now. Okay. All right. So let's see. What else? Ilya, can you pick 2 that you really liked?
Oh, yeah, sure. How about speaker?
Speaker.
All right.
Yeah. Speaker.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I love the word shadow.
Shadow.
Who said
Very
shadow?
good. Awesome.
All right.
Okay.
There you go.
Now, these are your choreographers.
All right.
Okay? Just so you know.
Right on. Now you're in trouble.
These are your performers. All right? Are you ready, performers? Have you warmed up a little bit? Did you shake out? Did you shake your, turn your head side to side a little bit? Yeah. Did you reach up, 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 up? Everybody do this. Reach up. Yeah, yeah, shake out, shake out, shake, 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 shake. High as you can. Remember,
All of you
far
in the middle,
space,
high as you can.
kinesphere. Now jump a little bit, just a little bit, as high as you can. Yes, reach the ceiling. Look up there. Go.
There you go.
Go. Okay, nice. Good. Take a big breath in and let it out. Now, your word is layers, velvet, speaker, shadow. Layers is going to come stage forward. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take what they said and we're going to put it in space. Layers is going to go downstage. Velvet is going to go upstage. Speaker is going to go stage right. And shadow is going to go stage left. Do you all know that? Can you practice that real quick? Practice that. So go. We're going to do 8 steps all together with layers. Ready?
Okay.
8 steps forward. Downstage. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody. 6, 7, 8. Now, Velvet's 8 back. Ready? All together. 1, 2, 3,
Gotta wrap.
4. Give it some attitude, but be careful with the, where you're going is 8. Now, to the side, we're just going to do 4. Sorry, speakers. 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And to this side, which is shadow, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we got our space score. Let's do that
Hey,
together.
Christy.
Ready?
We're running out of time. So.
Oh, we are? Okay.
Yep.
All
so
right.
we got to wrap it up.
So now, come out really quickly. Can you give us one movement with your hands? One movement, anything, any movement. Okay, ready? So as we step forward, we're going to go all the way open. Good, let's practice that. Ready? 8 counts going forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Going back. Velvet. Let's do something with your head. Oh, I love that. Back, back. Let's put a little hitchhike in there. Ready? Going back. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Use your hitchhike in your head. 7, 8. All right, and stage. I mean,
gotta go?
speaker.
Okay. Okay. Christy, we gotta wrap it.
Oh, we got.
Yeah.
What? How much? Are we done?
We're done.
Okay, let's do this. Just play the last song, and we're just going to do the first 2 things. Not the last song. Second. Are you ready? Everybody, come up. We're just going to do our dance here. Ready?
Yeah. Got it.
Just get some music
We should
in
be
your
loved.
body.
Be careful of the lights back here, guys.
No.
Just be careful. Be
You know,
careful.
some
of the
people
lights.
just get
So
food.
do we remember
Guys, be
going
careful.
Some
open
people get schooled.
Be careful of the
for
lights.
8?
Hey,
Some
guys,
people
be
get
careful of the
And then
lights
going
before.
back.
Be careful
You
of
know.
the lights
Ready?
behind
Here
you.
we go.
But in front of the Almighty God, we're all the same. We're all
4,
God's children.
5, 6,
And we are the
7,
parents,
go
we
back.
must be the
Hitchhike.
fathers and mothers of the children that's going up, so we have a brand new love generation. Love
One more
generation.
time.
Come on.
5, 6, 7, go back and back, 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 back. Last time, one more time, big. Reach up. 5, 6, 7, go back, back, back.
Watch the lights, guys. Watch the lights behind you.
5,
Lights behind you.
6. Now, everybody forward, give yourselves a hand. Woo! Thank you for being here today. Billy and I, wherever he is.
All right. Good job, guys. Not bad at all.
Thank you so
That
much.
was wonderful. Wonderful.
Give yourselves a
Yeah,
hand.
good job, guys.
And I
Not
know
bad.
some of you, I really saw the dancer, choreographer spirit. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I think it was
Isn't
great to
this
see
mic
today.
on? You
Go.
two are fabulous. So thank you to Christy and Ilya, and we have to thank the Joyce Theater.
Thank
you.
you,
For
Joyce
everything.
Joyce.
Theater.
Thank you.
And thank you for our technical.
Thank you,
In
techies.
fact.
Okay.
Okay, and thank you all for participating. And I think you
Yes.
see things here you would not see out there. So thank you, everybody.